In the future, if you want to create different colors, you can do whatever you want. Have fun with it. I also put a diffusion gel in there. I personally, as a lighting designer, just hate the sharp edges of the ellipsoidal lights. I like when you put a little diffusion in it to help kind of feather it all together. So the board is essentially a manual board. It has 2 levels to it. Right now, as it stands, there are 2 6-channel dimmer strips up there, so technically speaking, you have room to add 2 more lights on either side for whatever reason. And they are tied to the board here. Tried to make sure that when I programmed the board, I laid the board out logically as if you're sitting here and you're looking at the stage. If I put something up that's on the left, something towards the left is going to come on. If I go, as I move to the right, it goes across the stage. This instrument is burned out right now. That's one of the things on my checklist today is to put that lamp in there. And not only did I bring a lamp for that, but I brought a spare lamp with that I'll leave behind.
Good. Thank you.
So, but then they just start going in order. On the first level, this is what I call your incandescent level. So that's
your
1 through 48.
okay.
And that essentially is your front wash head. The 4 warms are together on this side in order. 1, 2, 3, 4 across the stage. You'll have 2 that skip because remember you got 2 more dimmers open on that bar. So if you ever want to use them, that's what will go in there. And then the next set comes up 7, 8, 9, 10.
And in essence, that hits the whole stage. I mean,
Yep.
from one side, if you want warm, you can hit the whole stage with just the right
whole stage
side.
is lit. Now, if you were to go up there right now with the other lights not on, you'll see shadows because there's nothing coming from this side. You'll see,
Right.
it'll have this kind of goofy look to it. But if you go up there with both, right now I got them wide open. I have a hunch that you probably don't ever want to really want them wide open. A, B, wash out whoever's up there too much. B, anything that you can do to run them less than full helps lamp life.
Okay.
You know, so they are. Here's another trick to the trade. If you ever order lamps, don't get 115 volt lamps. Get 120 volt lamps. 120 volt lamps will last longer than 115 will. And then these are all long life, which A means they're not putting out as much brightness, which really doesn't seem to be an issue here. But they'll last. The long lights are 2,000 hour rated versus the standard life, which are 300 hour rated.
And on that lamp, we can put in gels if we want,
Yep,
or
yep. Put any gels right now. Like I said, there's RO2 and R119 on this side, and on the far side, RO5 and R119 over there.
okay.
Okay?
All right.
So that's your incandescent layer. So as far as the board is concerned, you got lots of room to grow, add dimmers, do whatever. Now on the second level, that's the LED side. And that's the top lights. This whole level is full now. Every instrument takes 6 channels on the board. And so it starts with a master, which will allow it to turn up and down. Without the master up, nothing will happen. Then you have red, or green, or blue, or white. And the trick you got to remember about these when you start getting people up there, hence why it's important to have the incandescent lights from the front. LED light color is shifted a bit from what you're used to seeing. It feels a little cold. So yeah, you got a lot of brilliant color, but it might feel a little bit on the cold side until you get used to it. But you can offset that some with the incandescent lighting that's coming from the front. But we found for smaller schools like this is for the dollar amount, this is the best bang for the buck because it gives you myriad of opportunities to actually do some real lighting design and color creation for the price point.
Okay, so that light, because it's your number one set, in essence, it's your left one, is the left one on the stage. It's the left
now,
area.
Here's the other part. Remember
Okay.
I said that there's 8 lighting areas for the LEDs.
Okay.
So there are 4 lights upstage from left to right, and 4 lights downstage from left to right, and hence upstage, which is further away from you, is up there, and downstage, and again left from right. And remembering that every 6 instruments, or every instrument is every 6 channels. So then the next master would start there, and you'd have your red there. Your next master would start there, you'd have green there. The next master would start, let's see here, 19. And if you want to add a little red in there, or maybe some, let's throw a little blue in there just to get crazy. Now, here's the other part about this. Channel 6, I haven't talked about the 6th channel yet. So let's get rid of all these so we can just see one of these clearly. So you see the white light? 6th channel is strobe.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's the strobe effect. Okay. So essentially it's, you know, 1 instrument, 2 instrument, 3 instrument, 4 instrument across the upstage side, and then downstage 1, 2, 3, 4 there.
That's easy.
Now, to make it even easier, there is a master, or memory level, not a master, memory level. You hit memory. Right now, I have pre-programmed in the first 8 memories to be front wash warm, front wash cool, the master for the LEDs, the red for the LEDs, the green,
Oh, that's super
Oh, that's just so
helpful.
super
blue,
cool.
and here's where you see it. You know, it's blue, and it looks a little kind of purple. And same thing with the white. It's white, but when you get up there, it is white. It's ice white. And of course, then all the strobes tied together there.
And you can mix them, right?
Yeah, you can mix
So
them.
if you wanted to,
One note about the strobes: if anytime you make a change, the strobe will stop strobing until you've made all your changes, and then it'll pick up with the new strobe.
Okay.
Because the higher you turn it up, the faster it strobes. So
Okay.
it's a variable.
but if you like, you can mix the colors to make whatever
Oh, yeah.
color you want.
Yep. So let's see what we got going here right now.
Red.
So you got red, and you put blue into it.
Should have purple.
Or pink. It's supposed to turn out more blue or purple, but if you pull it back,
Yeah, you should be able to blend them then, right?
you know, yeah, it's a game of play.
Okay.
So, in terms of running a show, it's a manual board, so it doesn't have a queuing system like the bigger boards do. It apparently has some kind of a memory stack system, which honestly I've not worked with this board enough to even give you a clue how to work with that. If you have a student who wants to read up on the manual, I have the manuals with for it. But what you can do on a manual board is, okay, so I've used the first 8 as kind of the standards. There are pages, and I honestly have to go check. I'm trying to remember how to get to different pages. Okay, we're on page 1 right now. So if you press and hold memory, we're on page 1. You go to page 2. Now you got a clean slate. Why is this one flashing at me? I'm not sure why it's flashing at me. If you go to page 2, now you got a blank slate. So say you want to start programming a show. Well, you create, like I only want.
So like you're creating a scene.
So I
Scene
want
1,
that. That's
you
what
want
it's
this light.
So you want that, and you want that. You just want that area of the stage lit. You know, with a little bit of front wash. And then you can come back to your memory, which are on page 2, and you can say, okay, oh, I should have did that. Oh yeah, okay, I gotta explain that part too. So I say, okay, there's a record memory right there, record memory, and I put that into 1. Now that scene's in 1. And so you can continue doing that down the board, create your entire show and all your cues, and then it's just like, okay, and crossfade into the next cue, crossfade into the next cue, just like that.
That's
I think there's 12 pages? Yep, 12 pages of memory, so 12 times 48
of cues
of cues.
for a 1-act play, 2-act play.
So,
We switch in like every 30 seconds. We'll have to switch our lane.
Okay.
that's more than you'll ever need.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the most cues I've ever done on a show I've done is 525. So, and
All
part of
right.
that-
So to record again, you're going
Record
to
memory.
record. You're going to go to a memory. You're going to pick your
Yep.
page. Then you're going to go back to your sets.
Yep. So let's get out of that. Let's see. Let me escape here. Let me out. Trying to see if there's an escape button on that. Oh, probably clear. Okay, anyway, so let's go back. Now here's something we need to point out. Obviously you're switching between layers.
Yeah.
And so as you switch layers, the lights you turned up don't turn off when you switch the layer. And so you come back to this layer and you go, these here tell me that those 2 lights are up. And that's the two sliders I need to bring up, and it'll flash at you until you hit where that light was at. And once you hit all the way to the top, then you have control of it again.
Oh, okay.
Because you might have been on the LED layer
Right.
and not on the outside layer.
Right.
Okay.
So that's one of the tough things about working with layers. Your mind has to kind of process that as you start jumping from layers, what you leave up in one layer is going to still be there as you're moving forward.
But that's the beauty of, for a performance using the memory, because then you can
That's why
set it the way you
get
want.
everything
And you
set,
can
then there is nothing to remember. I mean, you just
go from scene 1 to scene 2, scene 3.
Scene
The work for the kid or whoever the technician is setting
Right.
it up during rehearsal. Okay.
okay. So I do have an SD card with me, which I will back up the patch that I have in the board
Okay.
and leave that with you, so that if for some reason the board glitches and dumps its memory. Board off, you press the power button and it'll say abort or confirm, and you confirm and it goes sleepy. Okay. In terms of setting it up, DMX cable comes from here. One end plugs into there. The other end plugs into one of two jacks. The one I'm working on right there is if you want the board up front here. But there's also a jack in the back, in that little closet back there to plug in also.
Yep.
And then the power supply just plugs into a power cord and into there. If you've had the power supply disconnected and you hook it up for the first time, the board will automatically just turn on. So don't like, hey, why did it turn on when I plugged it in? It's just what it does.
Okay.
In the box for it, there's a cover for it, and so like if you have it out for a show, set up for a period of time or whatever, there's a dust cover then to cover the board, so forth. Once that is done, that was something we weren't able to finish the first time we were here. What that is, there's a jack there for the board to plug into. The way DMX works, that's the protocol that the board is using. It has to be a continuous chain. And so what's happening if you want to use the jack in the back is you open up that box, there'll be a little cable with a connector on it, plugs into that jack, and then on into the system.
Okay.
If you want to plug in here, you just unplug the cable from the jack, plug the board straight into the jack.
Okay.
Okay?